Hello there, and welcome back to Chat Like a Native.
Great to be here.
So today we're doing a deep dive into something, well, really practical. It's about saying sorry in English.
Uh-huh. Or maybe not saying sorry sometimes.
Exactly, because, it's this tiny word, but it packs a punch, doesn't it?
It really does. It affects how people see you, how conversations flow.
Right. And we want to help you, our listeners, figure out how using it or overusing it can impact how confident and natural you sound in English.
Definitely. It's key for both, work situations and just everyday chats.
Stick with us, because getting this right helps you sound, well, more assured and clear.
And we'll look at that balance, being polite, but also getting your point across effectively. It's not always easy.
No, it's not. And you mentioned something interesting before we started recording.
Yeah.
This anxious sorry.
Ah, yes, the anxious sorry. It's a concept worth exploring because sorry does have a really positive function, right?
Totally. Like basic politeness.
Yeah.
If I accidentally bump into someone on the street and immediately say, oh, sorry, it just smooths things over, shows I'm aware.
Absolutely. That's its vital role, maintaining harmony, showing empathy, fixing those little social bumps.
Like mending things.
It helps us all get along. That quick sorry is a perfect example.
But this anxious sorry is different then. How so?
Well, the idea is that sometimes sorry isn't really about the situation itself. It becomes more of a reflex.
A reflex, like automatic.
Kind of, driven perhaps by social anxiety. It's like a quick fix. Saying it gives this little bit of relief in an awkward moment.
Okay, I think I see what you mean.
But the downside is if you rely on it too much, it just becomes a habit. A crutch, almost.
A crutch instead of a genuine repair tool.
Exactly. It ends up managing your own discomfort, not necessarily fixing the situation or connecting genuinely, and it can get in the way of being assertive.
So you find yourself saying sorry even if you didn't do anything wrong.
Precisely that. And long-term, not great.
No.
Because if sorry is your go-to for everything, like just offering an opinion or asking a question or even just taking up space, people might just start tuning it out.
Oh.
And worse, it can make you seem less confident, like you're constantly questioning your right to speak or act.
That makes so much sense, constantly apologizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could sound like you're always doubting yourself.
Right. So it's crucial to know when apologies are actually needed. Because, let's be clear, sometimes they absolutely are.
Okay, so let's get into that. When should we use those specific apology phrases?
It's all about intention and knowing the weight of the words. A simple, direct, I'm sorry, works well for clear, maybe smaller mistakes.
Like missing a deadline for something at work.
Yeah, something straightforward like that.
Yeah.
It acknowledges it, no big drama.
Okay. What if it's a bit more serious or maybe more formal?
Then you might step it up. Something like, I sincerely apologize, that carries more weight.
Right, for maybe a business letter or a bigger error.
Exactly. It signals you really understand the gravity of it. It's more formal.
Gotcha. And what about delays? Like replying late to an email or work taking longer. That happens all the time.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the delay is really useful there.
Okay.
It acknowledges the impact on the other person, their time, without maybe taking full blame if things were outside your control.
So it acknowledges their experience. Makes sense. And then there are times you do need to take full responsibility.
Yeah.
No excuses.
Absolutely. And that's where something like, it was my fault comes in.
Very direct.
Very direct. It shows you own the mistake. That can actually build trust, showing you're accountable.
So it's like having different tools for different jobs.
Yeah.
But the danger is using the sorry tool for everything.
Exactly. We touched on the confidence thing, but over-apologizing has other downsides too, right?
Yeah. What else?
Well, like you said, it erodes the confidence others have in you, especially at work. If you're constantly sorrying for your input, it makes you seem unsure, like you don't really back your own ideas.
That's a really key point,
Yeah.
especially for learners maybe trying too hard to be polite. It's a tricky balance.
It is tricky. And another thing, it just waters down your real apologies.
How so?
If you say sorry for every tiny little thing, bumping a chair, asking a question, then when you really mess up and need to say sorry genuinely,
It doesn't land the same way.
exactly. People can't tell the difference between your standard politeness edict and real remorse. It loses its power.
Like the boy who cried wolf, but with apologies.
Kind of, yeah. And think about that habit cycle we mentioned.
The anxious sorry thing.
Right. You apologize, feel a tiny bit less anxious for a second, and boom, your brain learns to do it again next time.
So it reinforces itself and maybe reinforces lower confidence over time.
That's the potential negative cycle, yes.
Okay. Okay, so we see the problems. How do we break this cycle? If you're someone who does this, how do you stop? It feels like it could be deeply ingrained.
Yeah, it can be. The first step is always awareness. Just noticing when you do it.
Easier said than done sometimes.
It can be. So a really practical tip is to ask someone you trust.
Like a friend or colleague?
Yeah, or a language partner maybe. Ask them to gently, point it out when you say sorry unnecessarily.
Though that's clever, like having an external monitor.
Exactly. Sometimes we just don't hear ourselves. Another thing, pausing.
Pausing before you speak.
Just for a beat, a second or two. Enough time to quickly check in with yourself. Is an apology actually needed here? Or can I say this differently?
Like intercepting the reflex.
Precisely. Creating a little space for a different choice.
Okay, so awareness, pausing.
Uh-huh.
Are there specific words we can use instead, like replacements for sorry?
Yes. Loads of great alternatives. Let's take being late. Instead of the automatic, sorry I'm late, try thank you for waiting or thanks for your patience.
I like that. It shifts the focus, makes it about gratitude, not guilt.
Exactly. It's more positive. What about needing someone's attention? People often say, sorry to bother you.
Yeah, guilty.
Right. Try a direct, polite, do you have a moment? Or is now a good time?
Puts the request first, respects their time. Much better.
Definitely. And expressing an opinion. That sorry, but I think.
Just drop the sorry button.
Just drop it. Say, I think, or my perspective is. Be direct. Own your thought.
Removes the hedging. Okay?
Yeah.
And if you can't do something, instead of sorry, I can't, a clear I won't be able to, or unfortunately, I can't manage that. It's direct, states the reality. No unnecessary apology needed.
These are great practical swaps. And you mentioned something else too, offering action.
Yes. This is really powerful. If something has gone wrong and someone's affected, don't just stop at, I'm sorry.
What else?
Offer help. Ask, how can I help fix this? Or what can I do to make this right? It shows you're proactive. You want to solve it. That's often way more meaningful than just the words.
Okay, let's make this concrete. Can we walk through a few before and afters? Maybe work, customer service, just everyday chat.
Sure. So at work, instead of handing over a report saying, sorry if this isn't quite right.
Yeah, sounds weak. Try. Here's that report. Thank you for taking the time to review it. I welcome any feedback.
Much more professional,
Yes.
confident,
Yeah.
collaborative.
Exactly. Customer service.
Yeah.
Instead of just sorry for the inconvenience, which can sound a bit routine.
Right.
Try. We really appreciate your patience while we sort this out. Here's what we're going to do. Focus on appreciation and the solution.
Build more trust that way.
Okay.
And just everyday stuff,
Yeah.
like asking for the salt at dinner.
Do you really need to say, sorry, could you pass the salt?
Probably not.
Just, could you please pass the salt?
Yeah.
It's perfectly polite and fine.
It really shows how often that sorry is just extra padding we don't need.
It often is. And remember, how you say these things matters too. Your tone, your body language.
Right. Can't say thank you for waiting
Yeah.
while sounding annoyed or apologetic.
Exactly. Aim for a calm, steady tone, open posture. Avoid that thing where your voice goes up at the end of a statement.
Yeah, it makes it sound like a question, like you're unsure.
Precisely. It undermines the words. And one last technique.
Yep.
If you do need to apologize genuinely.
Yes.
Keep it brief, then move on. The acknowledge and pivot.
Okay. How does that work?
A simple, my apologies for that oversight. And immediately follow with the fix. I've corrected it now, or here's how we'll prevent it next time. Acknowledge, then pivot to the solution or action.
Acknowledge and pivot.
Yeah.
Got it. That's really clear. So wrapping this up, it feels like mastering sorry, knowing when, how, and when not to use it, is a pretty big deal for sounding natural and confident in English.
It absolutely is. It's about using apologies effectively to build trust, show respect.
But avoiding the trap of over-apologizing, which can actually weaken your position.
Exactly. So recognize that anxious sorry if it applies to you. Practice that little pause. Experiment with those alternative phrases.
Yeah.
And you can really develop a communication style that's both polite and assertive.
Brilliant. So for everyone listening to Chat Like a Native, here's something to think about. Reflect on a conversation you had recently. Did you use sorry when you maybe didn't need to? And what could you have said instead? To be polite, but also clear and confident. Give it some thought. Thanks so much for this deep dive today.
My pleasure. It's an important one.